NTP Software File Reporter is an enterprise-grade file reporting application to give you the understanding of how fast your environment is growing as relates to unstructured data, where each and every one of your files are by type, as well as how much storage each and every user or department is using. This application has the ability to do content reporting to give you insight as to where all of your files with credit card data, social security numbers, or really any type of information that you may want to understand and report on, as well as the ability to charge back for storage as need be as well. There are three architectural pieces to NTP Software File Reporter. The first piece is the data collection agent, which will go out and scan and understand each and every file as it resides at rest on your storage system. We grab all of the information about those files that include file name, extension, last modified, last access, create date, and really all the metadata around those files. The second architectural piece is a backend database. The data collection agent will store all of this information it finds about the files inside of a Microsoft SQL Server database. This database is a simple, non-transactional database that is also an open structure that gives you the ability to create your own reports against the data that's gathered. The third architectural piece is our presentation layer, of which we have two. One you're looking at right now, which is an ASP.NET website. It just gives us general information about the data that we've gathered. The second presentation layer we have is SSRS, or SQL Reporting Services. This layer gives you the ability to automatically email reports, export reports as CSVs, PDFs, etc., as well as the ability to create your own reports against the database. Now this layer does give you an additional approximately 35 reports where you can see how we created reports against the database and modify those in your own way as well. Now taking a look at File Reporter in general, this is the overview page just showing all of the information about our environment as relates to unstructured data storage. This view gives us an aggregated view of the entire enterprise. So if I had Windows servers, NetApp filers, EMC VNXs, Hitachi HNASs spread all over the place, and I wanted to scan all of them and see how much enterprise-wide storage we're using and have available, this page would show us that. It also gives us some general summary statistics about the environment as well. Now we do have the ability through projections to then project out how fast our storage is growing. And I can see each and every one of my volumes or file systems and which one of those volumes or file systems is going to run out of space, for example, in the next 90 days or the next 6 months, etc. And if I were to click on one of these, I could also see the individualized growth rate for that volume or file system. And I can see where we believe this is going to go into the future and when it's going to cross the 100% capacity line. Now, if I wanted to, for budgetary purposes, to project out another 6 months, 18 months, etc., I could change my ended projection date right here and project out as far as I want. The system will take all of the previous history it has on how fast this volume is growing and project out into the future. Now, we do also have detailed reports here around each and every storage host. So all of your devices that we're scanning, for example, how much storage is available or used. I could click on a particular host if I wanted to and just see how all of the volumes attached to that particular host, see how much storage has been either on primary tier, has been tiered out to secondary tier, or is available on that particular device. And if I wanted to click on a particular volume, I could do that as well and see all of the data that's exported or shared off of that particular device. Now we also do have the ability to report on Sharepoint storage if we wanted to as well. And I can tell you each and every Sharepoint web application, where they exist, on which farm, which database servers, and how much storage is used by those as well. And as you'll see as I show you some more of these reports, a lot of the Sharepoint reporting is littered throughout the reports as well. We also do have the ability to break down storage by department. Departments here would just give you a logical breakdown of how the storage is being used as relates to departmental information. So here I could see how much storage a particular department is using, and we can associate shares, directories, or users with those departments. Now, if I wanted to, I could also report on file owners themselves. So how much storage does each and every user use in our environment? And here again, we have the ability to see primary tier usage of storage, as well as Sharepoint usage of storage. Now, if I wanted to click on a particular user, I could do that as well and get a breakdown of how this individual user is using storage. How much of a particular file type do they have and how much storage does that represent? Now, I also do have the ability at the top here to see in an aging view how old the data is for this particular user. So are they accessing a lot of the information that they're storing on the servers, or are they not? Now I can do that as well at a global level through my aging report. So here I can see at a global level all of my storage devices and how much of my file data hasn't been accessed in key 6-month increments. And we report on that by last accessed or last modified date. So in this case, for example, I could see at least 75% of my environment hasn't been accessed in over a year. Now, if I wanted to, I could drill in and see each and every file that meets these metrics per server as well. Now, if you are tiering storage out to a secondary tier and leveraging an archiving system, we do, through our archiving reports, give you the ability to report on how much storage has been archived out per device and per volume. And I could see how much logical space you're actually using as opposed to physical space. Now, we also do give you the ability to report on storage based upon the file types themselves. So here you'll see for business file types, other file types, and temporary file types reports, these three reports are pretty similar. What they're doing is aggregating storage based upon the extensions of files that live there. So here I could see, for example, in my other file types, how many AVIs, MP3s, MP4s, etc. we have in the environment. And in this particular case, I have 318 gig worth of MP3s. Maybe I'm interested in drilling in there, and I can. I would click on that, and I would see all of my storage devices that contain MP3s. Now, if I wanted to, I could click on a particular storage device and actually see a list of each and every MP3 that exists on that device at the time that we scanned it. Now, we also do have the ability to report on duplicated files across the environment. So how many instances of a particular file exist, and where do they exist on which storage devices? This gives you a good idea as to whether you have duplication that spreads across multiple volumes or spreads across multiple devices as well. The last thing this product gives you the ability to do is report on content of the files themselves. So which of my files, for example, have customer addresses, credit card information, and these are predetermined setup queries that I've put into the system, but you can configure this for any type of query you want, as it does support regular expressions. You could create a pretty complex search inside of your files if you wish as well. And this will search inside of zip files, PSTs, PDFs, all sorts of different file types. Now, if you wanted to write your own search, you could do that as well, just going to the index search. And in here, when this comes up, I have the ability then to just type any type of search I want and find information about those files. So here, for example, what you'll see is I'm going to go into this middle box and I'm going to type in credit card information. And as I type in credit card asterisk, now I have the ability to see each and every file that has credit card data. Now, if I wanted to go back to my primary reporting, I also have the ability through this main file content search to find that inside of my predetermined searches as well. So I could click on, for example, credit card numbers, and I could see the servers that have files that have credit card data in it. I could click on one of those servers and actually see, in this case, I have some zip files and some PSTs that have credit card information. And I might click on one of those PSTs and I could see the email that contained it and the number of occurrences inside that email.